Have you ever seen someone, random person,
Okay.
and you immediately wanted to tweak their appearance?
I mean, the thing is if I thought that, like, about every single person, I would be, like, exhausted. Wait, that sounded so mean.
No.
Wait, that sounded so
No,
bad.
it's real.
Let's sit on the couch, let's talk it out. Come on, join the show, I'll tell you what I know. Oh, talk about it. It's the best podcast, let's have a blast.
I love watching the evolution of style and fashion. You know, it's really cool to be able to create art through material expression. You know, personally, I love to be dripped in the latest, okay? Causing a show-stopping moment. And, you know, me, myself, I can go from uptown to downtown chic really quick. And so I was like, you know, today we got to talk about style. We got to talk about fashion. But to be a fashion girl can mean many, many things, you know?
Yes.
Today's guest is one who thrives in the world. She's been known to uplift the visual appearance of many and also collaborate with some of our favorites. So, you know, boosting their confidence as well. And so I am really excited that you are sitting on the healing couch is what I call
The
it.
healing couch?
The healing couch.
I love that.
Cara
Yes, that's me.
is here. Now, Cara, you are a celebrity stylist, a stylist in general, LA, all around the scene.
I am, apparently, yeah.
What's up? What's up? I'm going to fix your mic. What's going on?
Oh, wait,
No,
what's...
you're good.
Oh,
There you
what?
go. Yeah.
There. Is that good?
You're good. What's
Okay.
up?
Thank you for having me, first of
Yeah.
all. I'm so honored, like, you'd want to speak to me.
No, you were so fun and so interesting. So actually we met literally last week.
Like 5 seconds ago.
5 seconds ago, and I was so mesmerized by this black ensemble you had on. There was a little sheer happening. There was like some crystals in your head.
Yeah, I've been really into like breaking things and putting them in my hair lately. Like it just seems like not a lot of people are doing that. But then Euphoria kind of mainstreamed it, so I don't know. But I'm
Okay.
into just sticking like ribbons and earrings and like whatever I find. Just,
Yeah.
you know, being creative.
You're like cookie crumbs. Let's put
Cookie
it-
crumbs, cookies, whatever.
Whatever
Like
happens.
if I can pull it off, you know.
Right. So I want to talk to you though about like fashion and style because this is your lane. This is your industry.
It is.
How are fashion and style different? Like, can you set the tone for that?
Sure. I heard a quote once, and it says, fashion distracts and style connects. And so to me, like my personal opinion, fashion is more of like the literal like clothes that the fashion houses are producing and like the literal garments and pieces, and style is more like personal, like being a stylist, like you put things together and like you have like your own personal style. Like it's not personal fashion, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I love about it so much. Is
Yeah.
more like the style element, you know?
Yeah.
And it's more like fashion is more temporary and like trends, and like style is forever.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I view it.
What's the most important thing that you would say is like in your style?
My personal style?
Yeah, your personal style.
Oh my God. Being sexy,
Oh.
being fun, and just like staying true to yourself. I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I always try to do stuff that I don't see everybody else doing
Yeah.
in true Aquarius form, you know. I'm always trying to like push it and be like a step ahead. And I try not to be like a trend follower. I try to be more of like a trend setter, if you will.
And I feel like just even those things that you mentioned, those are more like internal, right?
Oh,
and so everything that you're
absolutely.
wearing, it just exudes out of that.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's more about like your attitude versus like what you're actually wearing. Like you could wear a trash bag, but if you have like the attitude, like, you know, Rihanna, for example, she could wear a trash bag and look amazing. It's all about like your internal and like your spirit and your like, you know, soul.
Yeah. So I have actually a question.
Sure.
We're talking about fashion and style. Have you ever seen someone, random person,
Okay.
and you immediately wanted to tweak their appearance?
Just like walking down the street.
Just walking down the street.
in
You're
LA.
like, oof.
I mean, the thing is if I thought that like about every single person, I would be like exhausted. Wait, that sounded so mean.
No.
Wait, that sounded so
No,
bad.
it's real.
No, but like if I wanted to tweak every single person's appearance, like I would just be depleted.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of more live and let live. Like, I mean, if you're my client, that's a different story, absolutely. But, you know, if someone wants to wear that, that's great, good for them.
Be true
That's
to-
their personal story.
They can be true to themselves in that.
Yeah, and that's what they want to express to the world. Sure, go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
But I try not to get too like. I think when I was younger, I was a lot more like judgmental, and I was a lot more like, oh, like I want to go and like fix her or like fix him or them. But now I'm just more like free, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. You
yeah.
know?
You work with like high profile clients and people that are connected or whatever. I'm curious to know because I think it's very key to just like be in touch with yourself and know what's going on mentally. How stressful that can be for your mental health because people of a little status can kind of be a little
Yeah.
and so how do you balance that all?
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, do you want the real answer?
No,
Like,
I want the real answer.
The real.
Don't give me fluff today.
I feel like I'm still learning as I go. People that are close to me know I definitely, not even because of like the client or like the personalities, but more just like the stress I put on myself. Like, I always just want to throw it all out there and do my very best. And I put a lot of stress on myself that I wish I didn't. Like, my friends are like, oh my God, this like isn't feasible forever. You can't do this forever. But I'm learning. I'm trying to like work on that balance, if you will. But then it's kind of good in a way for your mental health because then it's like something might be like a challenge and then you do it and you do a great job and it's like confidence booster. Like, oh, yeah, I did that. Like, oh my God, I pulled that off with like 2 hours and, every limitation in the world. And like, look, I made magic. So in a way that's very like uplifting and like good for your mental health. Like, I love it, obviously. Like, you have to love it or else you'll crumble.
Right. So I want to just like set the foundation of like how and where your expertise comes from, like your background and your history. How did you get started? Because, you just started like working for yourself a couple years ago, essentially.
Yeah. My background is like a very old school, traditional, kind of boring in a way. I interned in New York City for years.
Chic.
Thank you. I assisted in New York for years, like in the magazine world. I was at Du Jour, Marie Claire, Brides, and W. And then I kind of realized like I can't like stick in the magazine world forever. And I kind of always loved like being on. I keep messing up the mic.
The mic is always she's gonna do what she's gonna do.
It's all good. Anyway, and so I started assisting like a lot of stylists after magazine world, and there was one in particular named Alexandra Mandelkorn, and she styles Janelle Monáe, Katy Perry. She did a Selena Gomez video, a lot of cool projects when I was working with her, but she lived in LA and I lived in New York, and I kind of always saw her on Instagram and like idolized her like fun, colorful, like youthful, if you will, style, and I was like so obsessed with her, and I would message her every day for like a year, like if you're ever in like New York, like I'd love to like work with you or meet you or whatever. And then like a year later she hit me up and she was like, hey, like I'm gonna be in New York for this like Rolling Stone cover, like will you like help me?
That's cool.
And for me it was like I like screamed and fell on the ground. It was like a dream come true. And I worked with her for like 2 years, and she was my inspo to kind of move to LA and do the whole free, like she showed me it was possible and you could like do it on your own terms in your own way. So
when you came to LA, what was that story like?
It sort of happened by accident. I was in New York, like die-hard New York girl, and I never wanted to leave, and I was like super against LA for a long time. Like, oh, it's so fake, like it's so like New York is everything, like New York or nowhere type of mentality. And then I would go there for like jobs here and there, and it'd be like, can you come for the Grammys? Can you come for this? And then I kind of realized, oh, there's like a real like industry out here, and like I could be successful here and like kind of make a name for myself here. And there was like one music video that I styled. My friend, I used to be an ice skater.
Wait.
Yeah, in my like past life, I was like a competitive ice skater, like random thing. Okay, sorry.
Okay, we're going back to that.
Yeah, well, anyway, my friend from skating, like who I like competed against like 10 years ago, she like contacted me and she's like, hey, like I think I saw like you're a stylist like on Instagram, like would you want to style this music video for this DJ named like Alesso, who's like a pretty like big, I knew who he was. I was like, oh my God, like sure. And I went to LA, I did the video, and when I flew back, the billboard was like in Times Square, and it was like I'm like 24 or whatever, it was like the coolest thing. And I was like, that was like kind of my, I have to move to LA. Like I was like, okay, I did that in like 3 days, like what else can I do if I am there all the time, right? So that was kind of my final push to go. And my lease was ending, and it just sort of seemed natural. I didn't know how to drive. That was scary.
Yeah.
I just kind of drove across the country and figured it out.
I drove across the country too.
From Missouri.
From Missouri.
Missouri, yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
I'm remembering.
Yeah. So it's a wild thing that we do here,
Yeah.
like risking it all, coming here, and making it work. And so that's really dope to like see you kind of become in, like walk in that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's definitely a learning experience. Like I'm still learning new things as I go, just about the industry, about LA, about life.
Speaking of learning, what would you say that no one told you when it came to like working in fashion?
What did nobody tell me?
Like you're like, okay, wasn't prepared for that.
No, it's all good. Nobody told me that. I don't know why I'm stumped on this question. Because I feel like it's such a cliche answer, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like it's not glamorous, like whatsoever. Like
It's
everyone
grunt. Like you're
it's
dragging
grit.
garments.
Yeah, it's a lot of like physical labor. It's a lot of mental labor. It's just like kind of sucks the soul out of you. Like, oh, that sounds really bad, but
No.
you have to love it, and if you don't, it's not worth it. Like I'm telling you right now, like if it's not like your mind, body, soul, spirit, everything, there's literally no point.
Do you like pull?
Like clothes?
Yeah, like you go to the showrooms and you pull and you do that
Yes,
whole thing.
that's a
Every time I watch a
thing.
fashion show, whether it's what not to wear growing up on like TLC or like a fashion show on Netflix, they're like pulling stuff. I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
And they go to the back door. I'm like, wow.
But that's like very LA. Like I didn't do much of that in New York. Like in New York is very formal. Like you would sit behind like a computer and be like, I want Balenciaga look 5, and like it'd show up like via Messenger.
Oh wow.
And the people I never met them for like years and years, and you're all kind of like behind a screen. Versus in LA, like you meet these people and you form these relationships a lot quicker because you see them all the time. You get to actually go in the showrooms and meet the designers and interact with the brands a lot more on a personal level. So that's really cool about working in LA versus New York, in my opinion. But do I pull? Yes, that's a thing. And it's always different too, depending on the client and depending on the project. And I'm always like trying to find new resources and new up and coming designers and not do the same thing every single time,
Do you have a dream job or client or,
Oh my
or
God.
brand that you want to work with?
Yes, I do.
Whoa. I'm like, is it a personal thing? Are you keeping it to yourself?
No, it's not a secret. My dream number one client, like if I could just, magic genie wish, would definitely be Madonna.
Okay.
100% Madonna, like above all. And it like job wise, it would be like David LaChapelle would shoot it. It would be like some sort of campaign or, editorial or
I can see
something.
that.
Just something super over the top and like crazy and sexy and mind blowing and like, just iconic Madonna and like, the fishnets and the jewelry and
She can use your help right now.
you think? I don't know who styles are currently. I should know this, but
Okay.
I would love to do that.
Let's put it out there. Let's manifest.
Let's manifest.
Madonna's watching right now, so let's just.
I love you, Madonna.
I want to ask you these questions because you are in this world. I want to get your thoughts on some fashion highlights in media right now, if that's cool.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so Kanye West, he's always in the news recently, but he recently dropped like a collaboration with Gap. And,
I saw that.
And, his Yeezy thing or whatever, people rushed toward it, sold out. Do you like it? Are you a fan of his style and what he's doing with the baggy looks and all that?
Excuse me.
No, you're fine. Take a moment. I know it's Kanye West. You got to like brace yourself for it.
No, it's all good. I haven't actually gotten to get my hands on any of the collections, so I can't give you like a full review without like trying it on or seeing it on clients like myself. But I know from Gap's perspective, apparently it sold out immediately, and they were happy with the numbers and like they were happy with how it did from a business standpoint. I heard mixed reviews from consumers on like the hoodies and like some people were like, oh, the colors weren't like the same when I got them in the mail. And, some people were like, oh, like the crop is weird. I like the crop. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like a crop.
And I love that blue jacket.
The blue jacket.
I think it's cool.
My friend has that blue
Really?
jacket. And
Is
it
I haven't
actually
seen it in
feels really
person.
good. It's really bright. It's really cool.
It's really obnoxious, like famous.
That
like it's an
too.
FU piece.
Yes, it is.
know?
It definitely is. Okay, so Rihanna with the jewelry on the stomach for the baby reveal. The chain. Hot or not?
So good.
Okay.
So good. I don't know a single person personally who wasn't a fan of that. Like the moment that came out, it was like the only thing on my Instagram that day was the Rihanna pregnancy reveal. It was fabulous.
Meghan Markle's Oprah interview dress was named fashion's like dress of the
Dress of the year,
Dress of the
right?
year. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
It was her moment. It was a Giorgio Armani. It was a Cruise 2022 collection. It had the giant flower right here. And there was like speculation that I think it was like a lotus, and it meant kind of like rebirth and like spiritual renewal and like being able to survive harsh conditions, like the flower. And so I liked kind of the symbolism behind it. And it was like, you know, her moment to go against the grain and go against the system, quote unquote. And I definitely think it deserved Dress of the Year, 100%.
I have to ask
I love
you.
the message. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I like that interview. I do have to ask you, though, because
course.
all of the kids are, it's trending. Everybody's watching Euphoria right now.
Yes, they are.
And you just worked with Sydney Sweeney.
I did.
Love?
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
Her style is really cool.
Thank you. Or her style, or the shoe?
Yeah, the shoe, yeah.
Oh, the shoe, it was fabulous. So there's this photographer, his name is Josh Ryan, and he was the senior photographer at Playboy for like 10 years. And I met him styling a Maxim shoot, and I work with him all the time now. He's amazing. Shout out Josh Ryan. And he was the one who kind of set that all up, and we just had a day at this beautiful house in Hollywood, and it was very like timeless kind of Guess vibes. He does a lot of the Guess campaigns.
Okay,
so, it's kind of more like that all-American girl, sexy lingerie vibe,
That's
which
really cool.
I love.
Cool.
I relate to that. So it was fun, and she was lovely, and the team was lovely, and the house was beautiful. There's nothing not to like. So it was a great day.
I truly think that, like, when it comes to like fashion and style, I love that I've met you, and I love that I'm like watching your Instagram because it's really cool. Like, you're the one to watch.
Oh, stop! That's so nice.
And I have to say thank
Am
you, thank you for stopping by and like having the show-stopping conversation with me.
I feel like that went by so fast. I want to do it again. Like I'm like
come back. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about breakups next?
Oh, maybe a dating podcast. That would be funny.
Podcast. Wow.
Or a dating episode, I should say.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That. Well, thank you for sitting down with me.
Oh well, thank you for having me.
What's next from you? Is there something that we should be on the lookout for, or is it just like follow and like be on the
follow?
link?
Yeah, most of it's like a secret. Like I'm not really supposed to, say.
NDAs.
Yeah, NDAs, man.
Yeah.
So just, keep a look at my Instagram. A lot's coming up. A lot of videos and shoots and campaigns I'm excited about. So stay tuned.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Yay.
I'm like, I love it. I want
to give you a hug, but there's always stuff in front of us.
We got all this stuff in front of us. What's up, family? Thanks so much for tapping into this episode. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Instagram and wherever you get your podcasts from for listening pleasure. Don't miss our weekly Millennial Conversations Pod Post Edition right here. My name is Archie J, and thanks for joining me today.